It was in 1960, the year Richard Nixon ran against John F. Kennedy for the presidency, that I completed my political journey from liberal Democrat to confirmed Republican, although I didn't change my registration for another 2 years. One day I came home and said to Nancy, "You know, something just dawned on me. All these things I've been saying about government in my speeches, I wasn't just making speeches, I was preaching a sermon. All these things I've been criticizing about government getting too big. But it just dawned on me that every 4 years when an election comes along, I go out and support the people who are responsible for the things I'm criticizing." Upon reflection, I'm not so sure I changed as much as the parties changed. The classic liberal believed individuals should be masters of their own destiny, that the least government is the best government, precepts that are at the root of the American way and the American spirit. But then came a newfangled liberal who rejected these beliefs. They claimed government had a greater wisdom than individuals to determine what was best for them, and government was needed to engineer our economic and business life according to its goals and values, to dictate to the states, cities, and towns of America what their rights and responsibilities were, and take away the earnings of productive workers and redistribute it to those who were not productive. To them, government was the fount of all wisdom. The bigger government was, the better, rejecting the principles of Democrats who had gone before them. My first vote at the age of 21 was for Franklin D. Roosevelt. His platform called for a 25% cut in federal spending and returning to people in the states and local communities authority and autonomy that had been taken over by the federal government. He said, "The federal government must and shall quit this business of relief. Continued dependence upon relief induces a spiritual and moral disintegration fundamentally destructive to the national fiber." FDR in many ways set in motion the forces that later made big government such a force in America. But I think many people forgot he ran on a platform dedicated to reducing waste in government. If he hadn't been distracted by war, I believe he would have resisted the expansion of the federal government that came after him. In 1964, I volunteered to help in Barry Goldwater's campaign for the presidency. During the campaign, a group of his supporters asked me to make a televised speech on Barry's behalf, giving my views about the growth of big government and my concerns for our future. Barry didn't win, but my speech led a group of California Republicans to urge me to run for governor. Running for office was the last thing I ever dreamed of. Nancy and I loved the life we had, and I told them I wasn't interested. But they said I was the only one who could heal the deep wounds in the party that had been left by a bitter split in the party during the 1964 campaign, and so I said I'd run. On a November evening in 1966, I learned I'd been elected governor of California.